Oh boy, what is this? Uh-oh. Pathologic 3 review. Mania edition. Ooh. When am I not manic? Watching Mr. Seth videos?
Hey people. Seth here.
Hello.
Pathologic 3 is a game about trading walnut shells for opium with a gang of preschoolers, arguing eugenics with rats, and
Rat Profit. This is definitely the game for us, chat.
holding your Hippocratic oath. Despite the number, this is the best entry point to the series. You don't need prior experience or to play the previous titles to understand the content.
Average Balkan experience where there's just like fog, really brutalist architecture, and there's kids looking sad, and there's a Grim Reaper guy looking at you too.
And the contents, which is a blessing because I have. You play as Daniil Dankovsky, Bachelor of Medicine and proprietor of Fanatica, a Soviet institute researching the phenomena of death and its reversal. Funding has run out, and your last hope is a letter describing the existence of an immortal man, Simon Kane, living in a remote town on the steppe. Translation: this game takes place in Kazakhstan. However,
Да, в Казахстане очень хорошо, красиво.
upon arrival, you're
Of course, very miserable place to be, Kazakhstan.
informed of his murder.
can make
To
that
make
joke.
matters worse, a mysterious
My
plague has
grandpa lived
broken
in-
out.
in
The trains have
Kazakhstan.
stopped, and there's no way out.
This is actually a really nice looking game for like, it looks like an indie. I've never heard of this.
Then you're jumped to the present, being interrogated in the capital. You stand accused of leaving the town for dead, for fleeing from your doctorly duties.
This is
but
fucked up.
you didn't. Or you did, until you went back and changed that too. Past, present, and future aren't a line, but a liquid. Their order doesn't matter. Only your choices and actions. This is a young doctor's notebook by Bulgakov. Except it's a psychological horror, where you're responsible for the lives of 18,000 townspeople and kin in a backwater culture with strange customs.
What the
who will
hell?
antagonize and hinder your
Sneeze!
efforts every step of the way. As you listen to the soothing sounds of Mongolian throat singing, dealing with a plague is the least of your problems. Dealing with people, and suddenly it's like you're watching body cam footage. I have to tell these apes to stand down before they realize I don't have anything in the chamber.
He's out of ammo.
Or do I? And all this while you deal with the greatest problem. Yourself. With his glass bones
It's
and
just literally Dostoevsky, but a video game.
paper skin.
Very
Daniil has the
philosophical.
constitution of a hummingbird. A little too much excitement. He becomes manic, and his tiny heart just can't keep
Ow!
up. But
He's
if an
just
orphan
dead?
calls him Unk and says he's getting a Norwood 7 in the next 4 years, he begins to load his
Does it say
suicide
6'7"?
revolver. To summarize our protagonist's entire ethos: if you bully me, I'll kill myself. Every moment is a battle
Just
against
real.
apathy.
This is just
Get
like
a little
me.
too sad?
Yeah, I love Russian literature. It's very sad.
Upset or annoyed, and suddenly you're fighting intrusive thoughts with a gun in your mouth. But
just
death
mental
is the
illness,
beginning.
dude.
Our failures on the 5th marked the end, and we're not satisfied with the conclusion, so we're going to
He's
rewrite the
actually
whole
putting it in
thing.
his mouth,
Time
man. That's
is
crazy.
essential, precious, and fleeting, until we wind the clocks back and realize each day is infinite. After all, the cathedral generates
what?
time. How can we ever run out? Each day is a set of impossible tasks. To succeed in one means to fail the rest. For example, one of my last remaining leads is currently being buried alive. If I don't dig him out, he'll suffocate in a few hours. But if I do, I'll miss the distribution of contaminated spring water and the diagnosis of several key patients. So
Oh, no.
I hold on to my success.
Well, you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, you know what I'm saying?
And shatter my failures. The day repeats, and to the testimony of all witnesses, Dankovsky was here. Mirrors steal your time and reflection, so be sure to break any you see. As a physician, diagnosis makes for one of the most interesting and frustrating aspects of your job. That's because, more often than not,
Talking to patients as a doctor or as a nurse is just the most infuriating thing ever. Do you take any heart pressure medication? No. Okay, and then they bring the doctor in and they're like, yeah, I take this medication for my heart. It's like, you stupid bitch! I would have
the
loved to
patient
know
is
that.
lying. To you, to themselves, or both at the same time? We
I hate
begin
people.
with what we can trust, physical examination, and microscopic biopsy analysis.
Of their
From
poop?
there, we
Ooh.
question the patient, investigate their surroundings, and get secondhand information from friends and family.
That's
and if they
cool.
don't have
So
any
you're
of
like a
those,
detective.
we ask the homeless. Each time you tick off a symptom, your casebook draws closer to a likely conclusion. Sometimes the obvious answer is a red herring, and you have to dig deeper for the truth. Symptoms may be present and unrelated,
It seems
dormant or
complicated.
absent, depending on the progression of disease. Correct diagnosis is critical.
Oh, this is accurate then. This is accurate to the time period, huh?
as it lets us formulate a provisional vaccine for the day. This isn't the first time the town has dealt with a plague. 5 years ago,
The
the
gay
sand pest
plague.
made its
Oh,
first
no.
appearance, which was swiftly contained by a quarantine and burning everyone alive. Unfortunately, the town physician
Phasmophobia, gay
responsible for
edition.
containing the epidemic, Isidore Burach, has also been
Burach!
murdered on the exact same day as Simon. However, we aren't entirely defenseless. We brought an experimental prototype from a capital, a device that manipulates air pressure to disperse microbial particles. Hold down,
It's
charge,
like
and release.
It's like a bacterial bomb. Oh. What
Essentially,
the
this is
hell?
an industrial aerosol disinfectant. But we're in the middle of nowhere, so we have to settle for loading it with digestive bile from a cow's liver.
Whoa. Some ox bile. Okay. And
The
then
good
explodes.
news is that we can traverse infected districts. The bad news is that we're going insane. Shabnaka-Dig, step demon and manifestation of a plague, has taken a fascination with us. She is death. You're the killer of death, and she's pursuing a toxic
Oh,
relationship.
she wants
it's not
me.
a case of
Oh, it's a death mommy.
you're
All
bad
right.
for each other.
Yes.
She is a golem made of sand and bone, and she's going to tear you apart. The prototype can only temporarily delay her. But like a moth to flame, she's easily distractible. But we can't run forever.
her.
Each
Burn
site
the
of
witch.
infection contains a bloom, a cluster of dormant
This is a
plague.
mindfuck
When
game for
stimulated
sure.
by a caustic agent, it becomes active and exhibits autophagy against other sandpass cells. By loading our prototype with a sample, we can fire it directly at Shabnak. You get a single shot at this, so try not to miss. Provided you didn't fumble it, she cannibalizes herself, which slows the outbreak for a day.
Shabnak
And tomorrow,
subsides.
she'll remember what you did. Ever since Pathologic 2, the mind map keeps us from aimless wandering. Each time we travel between districts, we have to plot a course. If they're safe, we can pass through automatically, but cross any district that's infected or rioting, and we have to
you
reach
have to
the exit
stop.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer death by ancient bacteria over the raping intent of country bandits.
Get away
Wherever
from me!
Dankovsky goes, the sound of clapping follows. But it's not his hands that make the orchestra. After establishing a field hospital, the ruling families give you authority to enact emergency decrees. This is often a balancing act, as many
No
of the
comment.
measures you take to decrease contagion increase unrest. You get to witness the effects
Wait,
of
they
your
want to be sick? Why would social unrest go down?
policies firsthand, as your enforcers
Yeah.
misinterpret routine inspection. For board up their doors and windows, kill them
Yeah,
if they
lock
try to
them
leave.
up.
There's a Turkish proverb, feed the orphan today, and in return, he'll sodomize you tomorrow. Don't expect
Wait, that's the guy that sodomizes freaking guts, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
sodomize you tomorrow. Don't
Yeah.
expect gratitude.
Kinda
You can't
fucked up,
save them
huh?
all. The town collapses after day 5. That's why, initially,
Oh, no.
we can't go to day 6, because it doesn't exist. That's why we make the decrees. Through our actions, the future has become longer. Traveling to the future requires that the sandpast has not reached a critical point of no return, as seen by the red line on the chart. Basically, we're
Interesting,
safe-scumming each
fascinating.
possibility until we reach the desired
Safe-scumming.
outcome. The powers that be are replaced
Chad, do you save scum? Do you do it? I've done it in games before. I've gotten frustrated and save scummed. Yeah.
by the capital.
I try not to do it for like the sake of my own aversion, but yeah. If the game is broken and it's like really hard, I will save scum.
They're outside of a story,
Yeah, a piece
and
of
you're
shit.
actively arguing your case with interrogators sent to destroy you. You can even meet the inspector on day 4 and coax out answers to his strategy. He introduces himself as a dog catcher. In his own words, when he
dog.
puts
I got
on
the
the
dog
leash,
in me.
they struggle so furiously they get into a loop. These loops are dead ends in your reasoning chain, paradoxes and contradictions that have to be rewritten to escape. If we calm down and refuse to struggle, he can't win. We can't influence the outcome without starting the day. But to start the day, we have to convince him of its relevance. For this reason, we dispel his immediate accusations. Then, as the story changes, so does the relevance of what came before and after. You've probably realized by now, there's a lot of dialogue. It's not just verbose and flowery, it's a lot of sophistry. And it goes both ways, because Dankovsky will randomly spout Latin, not even complicated Latin. Instead of saying,
I can't fucking read Latin. I can't even keep track of my own day, and they want me to keep track of the past and how I change it? Post hoc ergo propter hoc. I couldn't figure this out. Ergo...
Latin. Not even complicated Latin. Instead of saying, you made a mistake, this man will say,
Latin.
errare humanum est. Replace it with Japanese and you'll understand.
No!
A patient complains that they're dying. He responds with, naruhodo. We're talking weeaboo levels of Latin. Ever since Mandalore pointed this out, I'm led to believe the town doesn't...
In aqua sanitas. Okay, wait. In water? Clean. I fucking know.
Distrust him. They just think he's a neurodivergent savant. As he garbles out, Watashi wa daniro desu. Ikuzo! To a group of blank-faced school children. On the other hand, this is a man who runs around town like Sonic the Hedgehog while scoping out trash with his Witcher vision, which he stores inside clocks for safekeeping. The signs were already there. We simply ignored the diagnosis. I could spoil the entire plot of a series and lay out every detail, and you would come back just as confused. Without knowing, there's no understanding. Thus, I don't need you to understand my actions.
The mother of all women.
Fucking Command and Conquer. Yes! It's the one that shoots out the fucking it props up and it shoots out straight. Yes.
Brighter than the sun.
Brighter than the sun. I fucking love Command and Conquer.
Pathologic is avant-garde if you're a Sud, puzzling if you're Goy cattle, and mundane.
Puzzling if you're koi cattle. Go back to playing your AAA games, cattle.
If you knew it already, playing Pathologic 1 feels like being mugged. Repeatedly, forever. And I don't wish this on anyone. Pathologic 2 became an actual game, and free is the most polished experience this company has ever made. They say, write what you know. In a case of modern media, this is living in Seattle and receiving the gift. Then, from the Slavosphere, it's a bunch of esoteric hallucinations from a lack of sunlight. Combine this with Second Temple Talmudic rabbinical teachings, read a little bit of a Kabbalah, sprinkle in some Gnosticism, and see what comes out. It's probably one of the better artsy games out there, but the problem is that the art crowd has AIDS and wants a walking simulator with no difficulty, so they can write a 5-hour video essay about how Olgimsky is fat and lives in the gut district, and his large, matronly body is a metaphor for, like, consumption. The difficulty sneaks up on you. Amalgam isn't infinite, and like menopause, you'll eventually run dry. Each day has a finite set of temporal resources that can't be brought over. However, nicotine tolerance is permanent, as your 6 milligram menthol zins will gradually lose their potency. Being outside of time has its consequences, because the drugs are wearing off. There's some rough edges, which I'm told they're working on. The UI isn't final. Quick slots break, some voiceovers and text strings are missing.
What the fuck?
Once, I talked to an NPC and got final. Quick slots break, some voiceover.
Wait, what's going on over here? It's just on the wall? Is this some code? Yeah, it's literally code, isn't it?
Text strings are missing,
Balkan
and once
game,
I talked to an
Eastern
NPC
European.
and got jumped.
What does it say? Выпей со мной тенек, вспомни Голгойхен, кто такой Голгой, как вы сказали, будто что-то знакомое.
Jump scared by Cyrillic.
Sith can't read Cyrillic, that's funny.
In summary, philosophers need to be sent to a foreign penal colony where they can't bother the rest of us. I thoroughly recommend it. The game is available on Steam with a 20% launch discount. Ooh. And for the rest, just watch my other videos.
My other videos on this game. I like these little niche games. Sometimes they're just little gems that are waiting to be found. It's very cute. Very nice, very nice. Go check out Seth. Been watching for a long time. Very funny guy.